Tech startup Empathy is on a mission to transform the way the world plans for and manages life's toughest moments and just raised 8 figures to bolster its initiatives. Well, joining me now with more is Ron Gura, Empathy's co-founder and CEO. Ron, welcome.
Great to be here, Kristen. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you.
I love your space.
Capital and empathy, always good things to talk about. Some might say they don't go hand in hand, but how is this new capital going to help your company, Empathy, grow?
Of course. Well, we're very excited about the new capital injection. It gets us to 162 million total. And what we're going to do with it is go into more moments and more markets. We're here to show up for people during life's most challenging moments, starting with our flagship product, Loss Support, where we show up today for more than 40 million people in Canada and the US, of course, during the inevitable when they lose a loved one. And we show up for them with support, helping them save time, money, and stress.
Yeah. So how would a user or a customer engage with your services?
Of course. So primarily through their progressive employers, like the CarMax, all the way to an AT&T or a Lumen, that will give that to them. On top of a bereavement leave, they would get bereavement care. And also through our 30+ life insurance carriers partnerships, like the MetLife, New York Life, Prudentials of the world. When you show up in that moment of truth and you call in with a life insurance claim, they're going to give you continuity of care that goes way beyond the payout through the days, weeks, and months after the loss.
How is the technology behind your services powering what you're able to do?
Well, you can't support that many people without a scalable software solution. So I think this is the single largest consumer sector that is in many ways still, well, untouched by innovation, unspoiled by software specifically. There's so much you can do with technology to pre-fill documents, to give people the best predictions, to give them a customized care plan, and really just elevate them during what is already so difficult and overwhelming. We see people spending thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours, more than a year of work during what is very difficult, and they need to wind down their loved ones' affairs.
How do you intend to grow from here? I know we talked about the new funding, how it's going to help your company, but what are your goals for the future?
Well, primarily, we want to show up for people in more of these big life events. Any unexpected curveball, any change you didn't want in your life, this is where we think a very good mix of emotional and practical support with technology is going to be something that can elevate you. And we're going to do it with more moments and more markets.
What does the data show you about how effective this is?
Well, we're saving people already hundreds of hours and close to $3,000 per family. We are very proud to have 100% of our life insurance and employers as client retention. So a lot of growth, and we're seeing a lot of impact in terms of satisfaction rate, higher than a 75 NPS average.
Yeah, interesting. And so in terms of price point for customers, what can they expect?
Well, it varies, but it goes through their enterprise clients. So if you are a bereaved family, we never charge you anything. We only decrease the share of wallet that is spent on a life transition, never increase it.
What else do you want to share with our viewers about your platform?
Well, I think primarily that this is a universal problem. You know, it's very hard to lose someone in New York City with probate and grief and family feuds, but it's also very challenging to lose a loved one in Munich or in Tokyo or in Toronto, where we just expanded to earlier this year. So you can expect to see Empathy in more markets and more languages.
More markets and more languages. How easy is it to provide these services in additional languages as well?
Well, it's mostly about the customization on the estate settlement and tax, but also, of course, the localization. So if you think about something like going through probate in Arizona or New Jersey, it's very different. Same thing for estate settlement in London or Sydney is quite different. So making sure that is simplified, taking really complex problems and simplifying them for people in need, that's the challenge.
Big picture, where do you eventually want to take this company?
Well, maybe one day here.
Yeah?
We're excited about, yeah, you definitely have a nice workspace.
It's a pretty nice spot, right?
It's
It's good
view.
real estate.
But eventually, I feel like if we show up, if we do our mission, and we help people deal with loss, and we help people during what is overwhelming,
Yeah.
there's really no end to this. It's a very large market. It's a really untouched category that we get to
Yes.
lead. And I'm very happy about this recent funding that gets us fueled for the future.
Yes, and I do want to just end, we have about 60 seconds left, by asking about the specific services provided, right? If someone goes to Empathy through their employer, what they can expect to collectively get.
Of course. So let's say, God forbid, Amanda works for CarMax, one of our employers.
Yes.
She calls in, she say, hey, I'm not coming to work today. I can't bring my whole self back to work, that's for sure. One of my parents passed away. And then she's gonna get Empathy from their employer. They're gonna be able to get a customized care plan, matched with a dedicated care manager. All that through our award-winning app. They're gonna get deactivation of accounts, social security benefits, help with selling the property, grief support, mood tracking, grief journaling, and a lot of tools that will help her with the full range of grief and estate needs.
All right, Ron Gura, he's Empathy's co-founder and CEO, joining me in studio. Ron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you.
Thank you.